everyone. I'm Josh Milton, and this is Shell Point Today for Thursday, October 23rd. On today's show, a new support group helping caregivers find joy, staying safe while driving, and up and away as Mary Franklin tells us all about this year's signature event, Fantasy of Flight. But first, tomorrow, a new T3 class gets underway in the Sable Room at the Woodlands. Sundial resident Bruce Finley will show you what you need to know about smartphones and iPhones and the many ways you can use them. The class will take place in 2 sessions, tomorrow and next Friday, October 31st. The class begins at 10 and is $10. Sign-ups are required. Also tomorrow, it's Chowder Fest here at Shell Point. Enjoy a sampling of 3 types of chowder, fresh baked bread, a delicious dessert, and of course, oyster crackers, all while watching a film that takes a look at the seafood industry. Chowder Fest gets underway tomorrow at noon in the Grand Cypress Room and is just $5. Sign-ups are required. Being the caregiver for someone else can be very taxing. Well, now a new support group is about to get underway here at Shell Point that will help caregivers cope by sharing experiences and hosting uplifting programs. Here with more on Finding Joy are Mary Franklin and Jane Johnston.
I'm Mary Franklin, here today with resident Jane Johnston to talk about a new support group that is forming called Finding Joy. Their first meeting is going to take place on Thursday, October 30th at 1:45 p.m. in the Manatee Room. Jane, thanks for being here today.
Oh, I'm happy to be here.
Well, let's tell the residents a little bit about you. How many years have you been living at Shell Point now?
We've lived here about a year and a half.
Okay. And what did you do before you moved to Shell Point?
Before I was a physical therapist, and I'm retired now. I had my own practice, my husband and I did, and so I've done therapy for a lot of years.
Right. Well, good. Now, you came to me interested in starting the Finding Joy support group, which is interesting. Finding joy is inspiring. Why did you decide that this support group needed to be called Finding Joy, and who should come?
Well, I've been a caregiver for years. By being a physical therapist, I've been a caregiver, and I've been a caregiver in my own family. And I also had a health issue that was pretty severe, and I became the person being cared for, which is not nearly as much fun.
No.
And what I discovered in that is there's great joy to be found. And sometimes we don't see it because we're so overwhelmed with our feelings of grief or sadness or just being overwhelmed with the tasks that we need to do. But there really is joy. Right. And so that's where I came up with the idea.
Okay, so caregivers are encouraged to go, and those that had attended in the past the Walk With Me support group would really appreciate this group, right?
Oh, yes, I think so.
Okay.
It would be great if they came.
Okay, now you gave me a little sneak peek about what's to come in the future. The first session is really a get-to-know-you event, but you're planning on having guest speakers and special programs each time you meet?
Yes, and I'm really excited. I don't have a firm schedule on anybody, but right now the group from Shell Point on the new respite program, they're going to be coming and talking about that. I'm also really excited. I'm working with Lee Memorial, and they are, I already have a music therapist scheduled to talk to us about how music changes our lives. And we also have Tai Chi, and Bev Chandley's going to be talking to us about how we can change our energy around us just by movement. Right. And I have another topic that I'm hoping to talk with someone in the behavioral department about holidays and families.
Very important. Another great aspect to this group is you're asking everyone to come a little bit early. The official start time is 1:45.
Correct.
But you're saying come on a little early. Come to the Manatee Room at 1:30.
Right. So we can visit and get and so I can get to know everybody.
Right, right. So that's going to be a great opportunity, and we'll have some coffee and pastries there, so it kind of lightens the mood a little bit, and everybody will get to know each other. And this is really going to make a difference in a lot of people's lives. So anybody who's a full-time caregiver, part-time caregiver, anyone who is giving of themselves, this would be a great session for them.
It would be wonderful, and people maybe who are no longer caregiving but have got wonderful insight to share with the rest of us.
That would be great and inspiring. Well, you're an inspiring lady, Jane. Thank you for being here today. If you would like to come to this support group, the first one will take place on Thursday, October 30th at 1:45 p.m. in the Manatee Room. So for each monthly update, you want to check your Shell Point Life to find out when the next meetings will be. I'm Mary Franklin, along with Jane Johnston. Have a wonderful day.
Staying safe while driving is a must, but as we get older, that gets harder to do. The Academy is hosting a class on Monday, AARP Smart Driver course, that will show you how to adjust your driving as you get older so that you and others around you stay safe. Here's Terry Colath and presenter Ed Vanderhey with more.
Hi, I'm Terry Colath, and I'm here today with Ed Vanderhey of Coquina. He is an instructor for us for the AARP Smart Driver course. Thank you for joining me.
My pleasure.
Now, the Smart Driver course has been a great upgrade to the previous AARP class we had.
Well, you have to take these courses every 3 years because everything changes. We change, our abilities change, roads change, cars change, and laws change too. So this is continual revision. You notice on the book, this is 2014. This is an entirely new course. Anybody who's taken this course before won't recognize it at all. Everything has been changed in this, and it's a great course. I just love to teach it.
I bet you do. Now, I think we kind of get set in our ways and say, I've been driving for 50 years. You know, what do I have to learn? What do we have to learn in our older years?
Well, you got to learn all the things that's changing. You got to learn what's changing in your own life. Do you know that the highest rate of fatalities in driving are not teenagers? They're people 75 and older. We got to realize that we're not, the old gray mare, she ain't what she used to be. and cars change. Just imagine a car you drove when you took your driver's test. The makers of autos say if you don't get a new car every 7 years, you're way behind the times because of all the new safety equipment that's provided.
And distractions too, Ed. There's so many distractions we never had. Cell phones and, you know, people who are distracted driving by us and next to us. It's almost like an obstacle course sometimes.
That's, you know, distractions and speed. Those are the things that cause accidents. And you know that drowsy drivers are more dangerous than drunk drivers?
Really?
A higher rate of fatality.
My goodness. What can somebody anticipate if they come into your class?
Well, first of all, they're going to have a good time. You don't just listen to me talk. It's very interactive. There are many videos, and they're all brand new with all the latest research. You'll meet some new friends, but you'll make the world a safer place if you go to this class.
Fabulous. And then I hear there's a financial incentive.
Wow, yeah, you know, what you get out of this class, the biggest thing you're going to get out of, you're going to be a safer driver. But you also get one of these certificates when you go through it. That's pretty valuable. This is a course you not only pay to take, but we pay you when you take it because you're going to get a discount on your auto insurance. It's by state law, and generally it's about 10% on your insurance, depending if you had any accidents or anything, but you're guaranteed that.
What an incentive, because insurance does continue to go up in price. Why do you teach this class?
Because I took it some years ago because I wanted to get a discount on my insurance, and I found out that it was so valuable. I said, this is really important for people to save a person's life.
Well, thank you so much. We're delighted to have you with us.
Right, thank you.
And you all have an opportunity to still sign up. There's a little bit of room left right now for the class on Monday, October 27th in the Grand Cypress Room with Pastor Ed Vanderhey, your neighbor and an AARP instructor.
An exciting time of year is almost upon us, Shell Point's signature event. And the week of festivities will allow you to spread your wings and take to the skies in fantasy of flight. Here's your pilot for all the fun, Mary Franklin.
The Resident Life Team is proud to present the 2014 signature event, Fantasy of Flight. The community-wide event will be a great way to come together as a community, to be entertained, to learn, to compete, and to celebrate Shell Point. Join your friends and neighbors for the week of Fantasy of Flight. The week kicks off with an outdoor celebration on Monday, November 17th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. around the Island Pond. Get up close and personal with a hot air balloon and be entertained with high-flying juggling, bubble blowers, and airbrush artists. You'll want to head out to the island beach where you will be amazed by the windsurfers, kiteboarders, and even a special surprise. The Wizard of Whistling will entertain everyone with his whistling virtuoso. There will be snacks and drink stations set out throughout the event. This is certainly going to be an uplifting event to kick off the week. Fly to new volunteering heights as you discover uplifting ways to contribute your time and talents outside of Shell Point. An aerial view of volunteering in Southwest Florida will be an uplifting event in the Resident Activity Center and outside in the administration courtyard. 25 booths will be set up on Tuesday, November 17th from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. with representatives from various organizations such as Lee Memorial Health Systems, Lee County Schools, Alliance for the Arts, and the Humane Society of Fort Myers. Lee County Parks and Recreation will also be there. Make sure to discover an opportunity to elevate your volunteer goals with giveaways, light refreshments, and knowledgeable representatives. You will have an opportunity to give of your time and talents. Back from a conference from the Mosquito Control Association, T. Wayne Gale, Executive Director of Lee County Mosquito Control District, will discuss up-to-the-minute information about the two latest diseases we're currently worried about, the West Nile virus and the chikungunya fever. The Academy of Lifelong Learning course will take place on Tuesday, November 18th at 2 p.m. in the Grand Cypress Room. Sign up is required. Maybe you've heard on WGCU, I'm Jerry Jackson with the Wild Things. Dr. Jerry Jackson is a WGCU broadcaster, an FGCU professor, and a lecturer, and he will be discussing one of the birds common to our area. We are delighted in this presentation. You'll have an hour and a half to hear about our birds from this eminent authority. The Academy is hosting the Fantasy of Flight presentation, The Birds of Southwest Florida, on Wednesday morning in the Grand Cypress Room at 10 a.m. Don't forget to sign up at either service desk. Aviation in Southwest Florida has evolved into quite an industry over the last 60 years. Taking flight in Southwest Florida, behind the scenes tour, International Airport will foster your curiosity and answer some of the questions you may have about modern air transportation. The group will attend a classroom-style presentation focusing on the airport history and social and economic benefits and impact on our region. Subject to availability, the Airport Police Department K-9 Unit and Transportation Security Administration will join us in the classroom. Lunch will be at the Olive Garden afterwards. Court pickup starts at 8 a.m., so make sure you sign up for this event that takes place on Wednesday, November 19th. The Fantasy of Flight Day continues with an evening with light-hearted entertainment at the Village Church at 7:15. The staff will be sharing their personal, hilarious travel adventures to illustrate their experiences. You will enjoy seeing some of the most memorable escapades from TV shows with Carol Burnett, Tim Conway, Bob Newhart, and others. Come aboard Flight TVC 715. You'll be glad you did. The Fantasy of Flight Week would not be complete without some friendly competition. On Thursday morning in the church, individuals, courts, or groups of residents are challenged to design and create your own airplanes. You will actually be flying them off the second floor balcony. So start designing your planes now. You must sign up because at 9:45 Thursday, second floor of the church, remember, you're going to fly your airplane. Awards will be given to the most creative plane, the best plane name, and the plane that goes the furthest. Sign up at either service desk today and start building your plane. The week-long celebration wraps up with a virtual visit to the last frontier. Dr. Wei-Ping Yu, a senior scientist and physicist at NASA Kennedy Space Center in Florida since 2002, will be presenting Unlocking the Mysteries of the Universe on Friday, November 21st at 1:15 p.m. in the church auditorium. He is a member of the American Physical Society and also a member to the American Astronautics and American Society of Mechanical Engineers. He is a frequent speaker at the Kennedy Space Center and at various events sponsored by NASA. Shell Point is honored to host such an acclaimed speaker right here on property. For more information about Fantasy of Flight activities taking place at the Arbor, Kings Crown, and the Springs, please refer to each building's newsletters. I'm Mary Franklin, and I am taking off and looking forward to seeing you at the Fantasy of Flight. Clear prop!
Thanks, Mary. Sounds like a terrific week of activities. And just one reminder, on Monday, November 17th, parking will be limited on the island, so extra bus transportation will be made available in order for you to avoid any parking hassles. Now, it's time to cover all of today's happenings, Academy news, menus, and Village Church connections.
Welcome to the happening segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Bev Chandley, and this is Jill Aldrink, and we're going to tell you about the activities we offer for you here today at Shell Point. It's an early start at 7:15 with a Health Connections class. This one is Bend, Breathe, and Balance. That's at the Health Club on the island. Then we'll move to 8 o'clock where the Men's Golf Association will be down at the Shell Point Golf Club. Round robin doubles tennis will be played at the Woodlands Tennis Courts at 8 o'clock. And at 8:30, it's time for the Paddlers Club to meet at this kayak storage facility for their weekly outing. At 9:15, they'll find shuffleboard at the shuffleboard courts. Current events will be in the game room of the Woodlands at 9:30. And also at 9:30, we have the ladies match play tennis at the Woodlands tennis courts. Our last 9:30 activity, though, is Samba. That's a card game. That'll be in the stable room of the Woodlands. At 9:45, we have introduction to beginning line dancing in the health club. 10 o'clock, the Susie Q heads to Matanzas in for lunch. 10:15, we have basic line dancing in the health club, and that concludes our morning lineup. Here's Jill for your afternoon.
We start the afternoon at 12:45 with Mahjong in the library lounge. Also at 1:30, we have Health Connections Aqua Pilates Stretch. Head on out to the LifeQuest Aquatic Center for that class. At 2 o'clock, the Larson Pavilion information presentation and tour will be taking place. And at 2:15, Name That Tune, the 1950s edition. Come on out to the Social Center for that. At 2:30, the Christmas cantata rehearsal will be taking place in the church choir room. Health Connections Balance and Mobility Training Level 2 meets in the Health Club at 2:45. That class is currently full. And at 4 o'clock, our weekly service, the Seamstress, will be meeting in the Osprey room, so head on out if you have something that needs to be mended. At 4:30, Alcoholics Anonymous meets in the Sable room. Also at 4:30, Blaze Bistro Dinner in the Cape will be heading out. Island pickup begins at 4:30, Woodlands at 4:40, and Eagles Preserve at 4:50. Sign up is required for that. At 6:30, Pinochle is played in the library lounge on the island. And our final activity for Thursday is 7 o'clock Trailblazers Bible Study. They meet in the game room at the Woodlands. Thanks for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Hello, I'm Terry Kolath with your Academy information for Thursday, October 23rd. At 1 o'clock, Mahjong Basics continues in the second floor country kitchen at the Arbor at the Woodlands. And at 1 o'clock, Living the History of the Computer will take place in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands. Don't forget your ticket. At 1:15, Facebook begins in the Computer Teaching Center on the island. Sign up is required. At 1:30, using FaceTime on iPhones and iPads begins in the Oak Room of the Woodlands, and sign up is required. We have a new class tomorrow, Smartphones, Apple iPhones, with Bruce Findlay of Sundial.
Menus for Thursday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is ham steak with fruit sauce, mashed potatoes, and asparagus. The dinner specials, the Crystal Carving Board for $13.95, and the soup of the day is broccoli cheddar bacon. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Thursday, the special is a roast beef club with chips for $7.25. The dinner special is Thai night for $8.25. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill are grilled New York strip for $18.95 or fried shrimp for $13.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
We want to warmly welcome you today to the Village Church Connections. I'm Dee Horne from Harbor Court, and with me is Pam Blough from Cameo and Al Chatfield from Sundial. Everyone loves a story. Did you know Jesus himself told stories, parables? Do you know that 60% of the people today learn by oral communication? That means they learn by telling stories and hearing stories. Well, that is what the Alliance National Project is all about. Pam, can you tell us what the Alliance is doing this year?
Yes, the theme of the project this year is Tell Me a Story. And we here at the Village Church, along with all the other Alliance churches around the country, will be helping to fund the training of global workers so that they will be able to tell the story to other people. And then once they have been trained, they in turn tell other people, and the stories go on and on like that.
So we're funding this. So Al, that means that there will be an offering that night?
Absolutely. Our goal is to raise $3,330, which is 1% of the national goal. The funds will go to coach and train leaders who will then train others to tell the story. It will also cover production costs and technical costs. The first workers will go to Africa to tell the story. That's where it's part of their culture.
So our program that night will be to demonstrate how Tell Me a Story will work. Now I'm going to be telling the Bible story from creation to the church. That is the entire Old and New Testament. Now you have to know I'm going to do it in 8 minutes. Wow. So I know everybody's going to want to come and see if I can really tell that story in 8 minutes. Pam, what is your part going to be?
I'll be telling the story of Abraham. And of course here at Shell Point, our native or heart language is English, so I'll be doing it in English. But that's part of the funding that will be taking place, the fact that they have to translate all these stories into the languages of the countries where they'll be sharing the stories. I'll be telling the story to a group of 8 people, and Al here will be in my group. And when I finish telling the story, he then will get up and retell the same story that he heard from me.
I'm going to try to remember everything that Pam said. It should be interesting to see if I can.
It will be interesting. Well, a great committee has planned an exceptional evening that night. The 3 of us you'll see along with your friends and neighbors. So I hope you'll come and join us.
And that's November 2nd at 6:15 p.m. at the Village Church.
We look forward to seeing you the first Sunday night in November. We thank you for watching Village Church Connections.
We're glad you joined us for today's show. Tune in tomorrow and we'll tell you about another of the many volunteer opportunities at the Pavilion, the Auxiliary Library Committee. Until then, this is Shell Point Today for Thursday, October 23rd. I'm Josh Milton, and for all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a great day and we'll see you again tomorrow.